thought for you there, Freeman. About the space war, I'm doing research, and aside from the ISS, I believe there may be around 10 or so covert space stations in orbit right now.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it, and China has one up there, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You should Google, open up a new window, and Google, quote, San Luis Valley, South Central Colorado, underground bases. You see, everybody's got their focus on Denver. That's what they want you to focus on.
Could you repeat that for me?
San Luis, L-U-I-S, Valley. It's where I, ironically, am living. I'm in the center of what may be, and maybe this is why there's been some interference. There may be, and I suspect, an underground tunnel built by either the Rand Corporation or other that runs from where I am, this area, 5 hours from Denver, to Denver. And if you look at the map of all these suspected underground bases, there's a pathway that goes north to south. And it goes south all the way to Mexico, past Mexico to bases in South America.
Yeah, they have a supersonic underground train.
Interesting subject. Mike, I want to thank you for your call. We're going to take one more phone call from the 209 area code. Next segment's going to be a fast one because it's our last. It shows like this where I wish we had 3 hours, but 2 will do for now. FreemanTV.com's the website. Don't forget to support our guest and pick up weird stuff. Welcome back to Outside the Box Radio for February 16, 2013 with our guest Freeman. And we're going to go to that phone call in just a moment from the 209 area code. But I want to mention here before we leave tonight for regular listeners that it's been extraordinarily difficult for me the last couple months to host this show, being homeless, being off the grid, living without any income but food stamps. It's been horrendous, and I have come close to quitting the show many, many times in the last couple of weeks to months because of times that the internet wasn't working, because of things that I suspect to be sabotage, internet dropping as soon as I log on to the neighbor's Wi-Fi. Their whole internet just shot down. And while my Skype works with other people, there's been disruptions when I'm with AFR. So for anyone out there listening, I know there's a lot of new listeners, to keep this show going, not just financially in terms of donations, just to be able to drive into town. And I can give you my email for the PayPal in just a moment. I definitely need help relocating. And I don't have registration. I don't have insurance. In fact, it's a risk going home. I can use your prayers being invisible to the police state tonight as we depart, as I drive 40 miles in 10-degree weather, 20-degree weather, back home to a yurt without power, basically in the middle of nowhere. I don't know of any other radio hosts doing it like this. And if you do know, please send me their links. I'd like to know what it's like for them, to reach so many people, yet be more destitute than the average person. But because I have like a monk-like nature to me, I'm very non-materialistic. I've never used my interviews or my shows to make money, although I've always been open to help. But right now I'm in dire straits. And I know a lot of people just like to listen to these shows and you don't want to hear about anybody's problems, and I don't like to talk about it because in a way it's completely humiliating. But I do need help. I do need your prayers, and there's ways you can connect with me, and there's ways you can help even if you don't have any money by sharing the videos that I'm working so hard to make and the radio shows. And over at youtube.com/Alex Ansary, you can listen to Chris O'Brien's discussion with me about the San Luis Valley. And I'm going to start giving AFR more publicity on YouTube for those that aren't listening to the network so they can hear the interview. Some people won't be able to hear the interview if they don't know about AFR. But if we put it on YouTube and I keep getting the content out there, like tonight's interview will be on YouTube next week, it's going to help more people get the information out there. And Freeman's reached a lot of people through his YouTube videos. And I'm running my computer off of solar, but I got a shot battery. It's very, very difficult. So with that, that's all I'm going to say on that. I want to at least let the audience know that there's a serious issue with the continuation of this program. It's so serious that I've had to line up a guest host for next week because it's just not economically feasible to spend $100 a month in gas costs to drive into town uninsured without registration. And I pray to God above, the higher force above the New World Order to assist me and help me as I attempt to get on my feet. Now, with that, we have 2 phone calls. And I know Freeman wants to kind of wrap up some of his thoughts. So I want to allow time for Freeman at the very end to give out, again, information about weird stuff so you can help him. But before we go to the 209 area code, I want to give everyone my email so you can contact me, but it's also the same email that works for PayPal. And that is Alex_Ansary @hotmail.com. ANSARY. And you can also see how my name is spelled at American Freedom Radio. And through there, you can find me on Facebook. And you can also send me a message via email. And I want to thank everyone for their prayers. And I want to thank everyone for their support, past, present, and future. With that, from the 209 area code, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Ernie. I'm in Modesto, California. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank Freeman. I just bought your Renegade T-shirt. Can't wait for it. I'll make this short and quick. Isn't this what Werner von Braun said? The Cold War, terrorists, asteroids, fake alien invasion. And I'll leave it there and let Freeman take over. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
And thank you. And yeah, I did make T-shirts out of the Barack Obama image, and I'll be showing those at Conspiracy Con and at Free Your Mind 2 and in Austin. I'm digging them. So I'm so glad you got one. It should be in the mail already, I think. Anyway,
Freeman, I'm just so amazed at how much you've grown over the years. And
it has been a trip. I mean, yeah. I remember back in 2005 when 15 minutes in front of the camera, I was sweating. I didn't know what to say. And, it's just been growing full board. I'm now published in Sync Book 2. I have an article in Paranoia Magazine, which is really outlining everything we're talking about right now.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah. And it's about 6,000 words. It's the longest article in the magazine. But it is on all of this space war and this transmission into the other dimension. And so to reflect on his call, in this story, I outline Project Bluebeam, which I don't think many people have really looked deep enough into. When they talk about Bluebeam, they don't really know what they mean. And when you recognize that the whole system was set up to actually transmit demons from another dimension through televisions, through radio frequency waves, into the souls of the humanity on planet Earth, this was what Project Bluebeam was reputed to be. And I did, and you can read my article called Science Fiction or Space Faction, and I outline all of the aspects of Project Bluebeam. But as I'm witnessing the open portal for that very scenario and the interconnection that we're having with these machines and the radio frequency waves, and oh my God, if any of this is anywhere near true, we're in serious danger.
And with that, let's go to the 312 area code. Caller, welcome. Your name and where are you? Oh, Bob in Chicago. Welcome.
Yes. You answered my first question, which was your contact information. You just gave that out. And the only other question is, are you going to be, Alex, are you going to be at the Free Your Mind conference?
Well, did you hear the last segment?
I heard some of it. Go ahead. Are you going to be there?
I'm completely destitute. I don't even have money to feed myself. If it wasn't for food stamps, I'd starve. I'm completely homeless. I'm living in a yurt. I have no power. And if I were to take my vehicle without registration or insurance, because weed is legal in Colorado, Alex, maybe you've heard that in the news, they're looking for people. Let me finish here real quick so you have an idea. They're looking for people leaving the state carrying marijuana. So I'm actually trapped. I want the people to know that are listening. I am something almost short of a prisoner right now in this area because all of you are completely economically destitute. And there isn't really any structure for people like myself to go work with others.
But that's why I'm calling, Alex, is to invite people to help with that. And, we'll find a way to get, because you need to be there, and because, we need to get you together with the rest of the people there.
I need to get back at this. One day a week is not working for me, my friend. Yeah, Bob, thank you so much, because I want to be doing this every day. I need to be back at it. There's too much going on.
Right. Well, let's see what we can do about getting you to that. I'll email you, and we'll see what we can do about getting you to Philadelphia, okay?
Thank you, and I've prepared my heart to leave this place because it feels like it's time. I'm just waiting for the creator to call the people to help because, usually, it happens that way, sometimes things happen for a reason, and I've accepted poverty as something to work around, if
Alex,
you will.
I'm much older than you, and I've been waiting for what's happening now for the longest time, and as bad as things are, it's just the birth pains. And I have full confidence that we'll get to a point where there's a great philosopher once said, and because I'm a physician myself, okay, and I've always used his statement as a motto. He said, you're only really healed of a disease when you can't remember what it was like when you had it, okay? And that's where we are socially and economically and everything else. I firmly believe the time will come when it won't even be necessary to remember times like this.
I'd be honored to be at the Free Your Mind conference. I respect a lot of people that are going to be a part of that, and I want to thank you for even suggesting that I be a part of that. Because we don't have time to talk about the archons and things of that nature, but there are people that are going to be speaking about some very important issues at the Free Your Mind conference. And I'm going to hand it off to Freeman here in a minute, but I have Laura Eisenhower scheduled for March 9th, 2013 on this show. And I have learned so much from this woman, and I feel such a connection to her and even some of the experiences that she has had. And so it's going to be a very interesting show. Thank you very much, Bob.
Okay, we'll get you there. Bye-bye.
That was a great call. We had some great calls tonight.
Yeah, people are wonderful. And, a lot of times all it takes is for you to really put your heart out there and say what you need. And we're really conditioned to not do that. And we're conditioned to feel low for doing it. You're doing your part. You're doing your job. And
I haven't had a neighbor just now because I posted Freeman was going to be on my show, who's a big Obama supporter. And he basically told me to get out of the valley, that I was a freeloader, that I was a loser, that I was nobody. And this is someone that has a reputation in the Valley for putting people down and speaking negatively. And I'm going to stop talking about this and leave it at this because the show's over. But that's what happens at times when you speak your truth and have people like Freeman on. People will demean you. And the ultimate game of the dark forces is to isolate us. And we have to build our community, not let them isolate us. And with that, I think we've got a couple minutes left, Freeman. And I think that you've done an excellent job at building your own community. Let me go ahead and plug this website, friendshipagenda.com. That's friendshipagenda.com. That's Freeman's own social media network off Facebook, so he and his friends and like minds can find each other. And that's very important to do in today's society.
Absolutely. And thank you, Alex. It was wonderful.
FreemanTV.com is the website. Remember to support his book, Weird Stuff. And, of course, my email is alex_ansary@hotmail.com for those of you that are called in spirit to help in whatever way you can. Okay, we've got a guest host next week, Russell Scott, because, of course, doing the show has been a little bit difficult. So I want to thank him for being here next week, and I will be here the week after that, which is March 2nd. Again, my YouTube is youtube.com/Alex Ansary, and, of course, you can find me on Facebook. Till next time, I'm Alex Ansary, reminding you the path to the ultimate place of truth and place of power lies within. Good night. Sleep tight.
Welcome to the world's meeting place. American.
It's practically narcotics.
Freedom.
Oh, yes. I like very much.
Radio.
You're an American institution.
American Freedom Radio.